The 600 and is posted deep. Fire Ant has kicked up with Fancy Street in the middle of those, and so she's been left out there deep on a limb. A length and a half, Rebellionaire sneaking up just behind them, the top weight, only about a length and a half from the leaders coming around the turn from Cool Dynamite, having to steady off their heels. Looking for a run, Shania Style on the rail. The Naconian to the outside from Zing Bang Wop, and getting a run in the middle is Sound Check. He's starting to wind up very, very quickly at the 170, and Sound Check, after he found that opening, burst through quickly, put pay to them from Cool Dynamite, and then Danes Marie. Gee, she stuck on admirably from Rebellionaire, weakening on his run, but much too sharp. Sound Check beat home a game. Danes Marie, Cool Dynamite. Wide out Rebellionaire, right behind them near the inside, Fancy Street, Shania Style. Further back and wider out is the Naconian. Next home, Fire Ant, and dropping out Zing Bang Wop has trailed them in. Number 3 is the winner, Sound Check. Gee, he was absolutely bolting in behind them. He just needed the field to fan, and as soon as that occurred, the race was over, almost in the twinkling of an eye. Sound Check sprinting through, less than 200 to go, and putting pay to them, but a game run, Danes Marie. She's done all of the work, 3 deep, couldn't get across, and she kept on giving. She was terrific in defeat, and Cool Dynamite over towards the inside has kicked, and it's there with Rebellionaire for 4th as we wait for the officials, and close up Fancy Street, Shania Style right behind those. But Sound Check going into the race second up after that first up return, and a close second it was to the talented Valago, a horse that was stakes placed in the Supremacy, ran 4th in the Perth Stakes as well, always showed a little above average ability through the autumn. A Your Song 3-year-old out of Jaceni, that very good producing mare, and raced by Joanne Andrews and the team at Darling View, Clive Atwell, the Red Zeta Syndicate, along with D. McClellan, V. Del Casale, J. Vincent, P. Botsis, K. Dawson, F. O'Connell, from the yard of Trevor Andrews, and ridden by Jared Noski. A case of just having to be a little patient, and had plenty of horse underneath him when the field fanned. He got the split and he capitalised upon it, letting down with a really nice turn of acceleration. Danes Marie, she gave her all there. The Fly Peg filly out of Musical Dane, Ms. J. Hunter, W. Hall, P. Ms. F. Allen, the owners, and trained by Brett Pope, ridden by Molly Clark, and 3rd place in Cool Dynamite, and Alfred Nobel, Wild Park filly for Lou Urseg, Ray Muse, K. Parker, R. Howen, C. Gallagher, Ms. L. Baker, trained by Alan Matthews, ridden by Patrick Carberry. 4th, Rebellionaire deep out, 1 3/4 a short hit. Turned out to be a really decisive victory. And the time they ran 59.47, and they rounded that out with a 34.79, closing 600. Here's Gareth Hall joining us down there. He's with the winning trainer Trevor Andrews, who'd be pretty happy with Sound Check's victory this afternoon, and that being his first in just 6 career starts.
He's always showed promise, Trevor. Thanks, Mackie. His 2-year-old season was pretty good behind some smart ones, and then first up at York was really good, and then he's brought it here today, and that was impressive.
Yeah, good effort. He's always showed above average ability. As a 2-year-old, he was obviously stakes placed, was plagued by shin soreness, and pulled up very shin sore after the Karrakatta, but put him away, and just sort of thought, oh, we've got to try and head down the easier path and get a win for him and give him a bit of confidence. So I took him to York, and the York run was good, and I didn't want to go to the Belgravia Saturday. That was a bit hot for him, so this race was a good option. Thought it was a bit short and sharp, the 1,000, but I'm happy to get the job done.
Did he always, obviously showed you that promise as a 2-year-old, but taking the next steps, another question in itself. Were you confident he could do just that?
I was confident in his ability. He's probably got a few issues that he needs to sort out mentally. He's quite negative going into the barriers, and a bit negative about a lot of things. So, against early 2-year-old form, always, the other ones seem to mature and they don't train on and things like that. So he doesn't seem to have lost any of his ability, but we probably just need to get him right in the head for him to take that next stage.
With that confidence now, do you set the bar a little higher?
I'll probably go to the Fair Ether with him, the 1,400, and he's entered for the Guineas, so without aiming too high, on the strength of today's run, patiently, I think the 1,400 certainly won't be beyond him, and you only get one shot at the Guineas. It's $500,000 race for 3-year-olds, so if he runs all right next start, we probably may go down that path.
tell you what, there was a roar when he burst through under Noski, so I don't think you'd be buying a beer today, mate. Well done.
And so I shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't either. Well done, Trevor. There's Trevor Andrews, Noski at his best there, Matty.
Spot on, Gareth. A few of the boys are pretty happy behind the scenes here, giving the thumbs up and the cheers. Jared, this sound check got under the radar of a few of the punters, but geez, that was impressive.
Yeah, his last run looked really good at York. I wasn't on him, but I was pretty happy with how it looked. It was a bit of a tricky race earlier. It was just, it's a bit hard to read how it was going to pan out, but we didn't end up in the greatest spot, but had a bit of luck on straightening, and he got the job done.
Just that last furlong really lengthened like a good thing. Just talk us through that.
Yeah, it was an explosive turn of foot, and he really ran right through the line. He got through the gap, and I thought he might have switched off a bit, but yeah, he still attacked the line, so it was good.
Well done.
Thank you.
Jared Noski there. Got to give the Perth Racing website a bit of a plug here, Gareth. The Under the Radar column that's done every week.
Yes.
First tip of the day was sound check, I think at around the 7:50. So if you were following the Under the Radar column, you would have found yourself a winner there. But spot on. How good was Jared Noski and how good was sound check?
And how good was Dane Marie back in second? She was punching the breeze 3 wide in this strong win here today, and her effort under the circumstances was out of this world. I would imagine Brett Pope will be really happy with that performance. Cool Dynamite was good. Rebellion Air under that big weight just didn't finish off as well as I think the punters expected. It was back in 4th. So 3, 2, 5 and 1. We'll be back to have a look at these horses in the yard for the 4th race in about 20 minutes time here at Ascot today.